All right, let's talk about positive and negative numbers. In particular, we're going to introduce negative numbers. You might be thinking, why would we need negative numbers? Well, we can represent things like your bank account balance. If you owe the bank $30, then that would be negative 30. You could also represent the distance below sea level and things like that. All right, let's draw a number line. The natural numbers or counting numbers are 1, 2, 3, and so on. They get bigger as you go to the right. They go on forever. Whole numbers include the number 0, and integers include the negative numbers, and they go in this direction. -1, -2, -3, and so on. And again, the farther you go to the right, the bigger the number is. We can use the inequality symbol to show that something is greater than or less than another number. And like most things in math, you read it from left to right. So this statement reads 5 is greater than 3. This statement reads 2 is less than 7. We can use the number line to decide which symbol goes between these numbers, which is farther to the right, 1 or -2. And you would read it from left to right. -2 is less than 1. What about this one? Well, the -10 would be farther to the left. Another way to think about it is, which would you rather have in your bank account? Would you rather owe $3 or owe $10? So -3 is greater than -10. Which symbol goes here? Well, -19 is to the left of -12 on the number line. So that would read -19 is less than -12. Let's talk about absolute value. Absolute value is a symbol with 2 vertical lines around a number. One definition of absolute value is the absolute value of a number is its distance from the origin, or 0. So how far is 3 from 0? Well, it's 1, 2, 3. So the absolute value of 3 is 3. The absolute value of -3 is also 3, because you have to walk a distance of 3 to get there. So the absolute value of a positive number is positive. The absolute value of a negative number is positive. You can think of it as the happy function. If you're already happy, you take the absolute value, stay happy. But if you're sad, you can take the absolute value and it makes you happy. Another concept that can be helpful when doing negative number operations is this idea of the opposite. So think of 0 as the middle, What number is opposite to, well, that's going to be -2. What number is opposite -4? Well, that's going to be 4. So the opposite of 2 is -2. The opposite of -4 is 4. How do we write this with math symbols? That would be the opposite of the opposite of 4 is 4. That's like saying, I don't not like cheese. That means you do like cheese. All right, so let's review. The absolute value of a positive is positive. The absolute value of a negative is positive. The opposite of a positive number is positive. What happens if you have a negative on the outside of the absolute value? The absolute value is a grouping symbol, so you perform this operation first. The absolute value of a positive is positive, and then that negative stays on the outside. If you have the negative of an absolute value of a negative number, that's different from the opposite of the opposite. Because the absolute value is an operation, you take the absolute value of the negative number, which is positive, but you still have that negative outside. I like to think of it this way. Remember, it's our happy function. You're happy, you take the absolute value, you're happy, but then you have that bummer friend outside, and now you're sad. You were all sad, you went to your happy place and you became happy and positive, but then there was that bummer friend outside, now it's negative. You definitely want to memorize these two and know that they give you a different outcome.